Hello. Yeah, so I got some more ask thingies and I'm gonna answer them. Some of these I just got, some of them have been buried in my box and I just haven't had a chance to answer them, so I'm gonna do that right now. Product placement, PHT Snapple, my favorite thing ever. Super good. Okay. So these aren't in any. I got them in my eye. Oh my gosh, why my computer's being super crazy right now? It's crazy. I don't wanna. Okay. It's trying to get me to put in a header. First question. I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years, and the entire time we've had a problem with him coming way too soon. I'm okay with it, although I have to admit it would be nice if he lasted longer. Because we do lots of because we do lots of foreplay, and I always come first, but he always apologizes profusely after we have sex, and it makes me feel so bad. Is there anything we can do to make him last longer? Well, in my past experience, making him last longer is not really, like, there isn't, like, a magic fix for this. But in my past experience, and I just said it, like, 2 seconds ago, the best thing to do in this situation is have him ejaculate twice. Maybe have him come once during foreplay, give him some time to regain his erection, and then have sex. Because once that first one's out of the way, then the second one, usually, that's how it goes. They'll last longer for the second one. There's a lot more control and everything that's able to be maintained. So that's my advice on that. Have him come twice. Maybe you can come twice too. Maybe you can come 3 times, 4 times, whatever. I don't know. I think him coming twice would be the best way to do things. Second question. Do you douche? Is it better to use store-bought stuff or natural stuff for douching? I wash my vagina out with water. And this is more of like, it's not so much douching, but it's more of just like an OCD thing. I'm really kind of crazy and anal about my vagina and keeping it like clean. And I think this just comes from my history of abuse and all of that stuff. I am a lot better about it than I used to be. I used to wash my vulva several times a day with water, only water. And now I do it maybe twice. But I don't. Washing your or douching is not necessary. It's not something you need to do, especially now with anything that you buy at the fucking grocery store, because it sounds like super harmless on the box. It's just like vinegar and water or whatever, but there's lots of like fragrance and other like added ingredients. It's not that simple. It's not good for you. And it can cause a lot of complications. It can give you infections. It can give you pelvic inflammatory disease. I just don't think douching is a good idea. Washing your vulva with water is fine. It's not going to hurt you. So, yeah, no douche. Next question. How did your partner react when you told them that you have herpes? I got herpes last year, and I feel like no one would want to be with me. I was in between partners at the time. My ex-partner, Jeff, and I were still sleeping together, and we both got it at the same time. We don't really know how it happened. We have some theories, but that's not what this question is. Anyway, we got it at the same time. So he would, even though we weren't together anymore, he was just kind of like, okay. And I was talking, my daddy and I were like kind of a thing at that time, but like not really yet. I don't know. It was kind of weird. He was super bummed about it. he like thought it really sucked. And I think he felt really conflicted about it. But it wasn't like a deal breaker. He wasn't like, okay, well, I'm not gonna like have anything to do with you now. We hadn't like slept together or anything at that point. We were still just talking. But we knew that we wanted to sleep together. So I know it was a definite bummer. But like I said, it wasn't a deal breaker. I think it really helps to have people you're interested in being intimate with educate themselves on the herpes virus, just so they know about it, or even just educate them yourself, and just let them know like what's up, how it's spread, and what you can do to prevent it, which isn't much, but yeah. I don't think having herpes makes you undesirable. Maybe to people who are like really close-minded or scared of contracting the virus. Usually it's when people don't know a lot about the virus that they're really like freaked out by it. Because people just hear herpes and they think of like the really awful slides that were shown in like your middle school like health class that was taught by your fucking PE teacher, football coach, whatever. So it doesn't make you undesirable. I totally understand like how it would make you feel that way. I went through the same thing. But I think it really helps to kind of view that as just like not being an option. Like there will be people in this, like in my life, or like in my sexual relationships or potential sexual relationships, who this will be a big glaring problem for. And if that's the case, then we don't have to like sleep together or mess around or become a thing. I'm like, yeah, that sucks, and yeah, sometimes that feels really bad, but what can you do? It's just a matter of accepting your body for what it is and accepting other people's choices about their body, and just like being okay with everything as a whole. Because there's no cure for herpes. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just once you got it, and that's it. And crying about it, being upset about it, beating yourself up about it is not going to change the fact that you have fucking herpes. So let it be what it is. Next question. This isn't a question. I just put something in my butt for the first time and I am in heaven. Why didn't I try this sooner? I don't know. But I'm glad you finally did, because putting stuff in your butt is fucking cool. Next question. I just saw my boyfriend has put his status on Facebook saying, girls with hairy vaginas are gross, and it's making me feel bad because he knows I prefer not to shave. I'm 15 and he's making me feel gross. Do you think I should shave for him? No, I don't. I think you should do whatever you want with your body. If he has an issue with your body or the way that you keep your pubic hair or anything like that, he doesn't have to look at it or touch it or anything like that. I think there's totally room for compromise in relationships with things like this and being like flexible and accommodating. But if he's like just flat out being like, I think this is gross, like, and that's not okay, and like totally putting you down, that's bullshit. Fuck him. That does not make him a good partner at all, and by like any means. So he can eat shit. He can go jerk off in the fucking bathroom. You don't owe him anything. What are you doing? Stop. Close the door, please. Anyway. Next question. Hi, yeah, I was wondering if there's anything wrong with using folded over tissue during my period instead of tampons, pads, Diva cups, or anything else. It's the same premise, but way cheaper. I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I haven't experienced any complications or anything. Or am I totally gross? I don't think this is necessarily gross. I don't think it would necessarily be cheaper. Toilet paper is fucking expensive. But whatever you want to do, I guess. Nothing wrong with it. I don't think it makes you gross. It's just like your way of doing it. People bleed on all sorts of things. There are some days I don't feel like putting in my Diva cup or whatever, and I'll just like bleed on a towel or like a shirt that I don't care about or whatever. I would imagine that this would be somewhat uncomfortable to walk around, and I feel like the toilet paper, somebody did not situate this up in the washer evenly. Put it back. Yeah, but I would imagine that would be like really uncomfortable and kind of weird. I feel like you would get like pilly bits of toilet paper stuck to your labia and stuff. But if it works for you, whatever. Next question. I don't know if you've ever had this problem, but I have an extreme ass hair issue. My butthole is super hairy and embarrassing to look at, and it's my most self-conscious part of my body. The itch is hell between when I shave. I think I might try waxing, but I DK. Everybody's got hairy buttholes. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's booty hole grows hair. Maybe not the booty hole, but around the booty hole, butt cracks grow hair. It happens. And it's not gross or weird. Like, granted, it can, like, not be the most aesthetically pleasing thing to a lot of people. It doesn't really matter. If you're asking how you should remove the hair, I personally remove hair from my butt crack just because I don't like having it there. I don't like the way it feels. So I find that waxing is the best. It's quick. It lasts for a while and just keeps everything really like smooth and nice. But don't beat yourself up about it. Everybody's got a hairy fucking butthole. Everybody. Next question. What is your profession other than amazing blogger and mother? I think it's really funny when people comment on my parenting on my blog, because you get like, no, you guys have no idea what kind of mom I am. But I appreciate you thinking I'm great and stuff. That's cool, I guess. My profession, I am a waitress. I work in a restaurant in Columbia. I work the late night shift, the graveyard shift. So I have weird hours. Feed drunk people. Try to keep them from driving home drunk. I'm a waitress. That's what I do. That's how I support myself. Next question. When did you decide to be vegan? Was it an easy transition? Did it take a lot of willpower? I decided to be vegan about just over 5 years ago. It was an incredibly easy transition for me, and it took almost no willpower. I feel like the key to being like a successful vegan is having a drive behind it, something that really motivates you to do it. And for me, that drive was, I just didn't want to hurt anything. So I stopped eating animal products of all kinds, buying anything that was tested on animals, with the exception of like a handful of things. And that was it. I've been doing it ever since, and it's something I still feel incredibly passionate about. I don't see that changing anytime, even remotely soon. Next question. What happened during your sexual abuse? I'm sorry if you'd rather not talk about it. Watching that video for the first time was the first time I had heard anything about it. Sorry. I don't really know how to answer this question. my sexual abuse, I was molested by my, maybe I'll talk about this on the video. I was abused for 11 years of my life, let's just say that. 11 years of my life, and there's, I don't know if you're looking for details or what, but I'm not going to give those. Those are something that I don't really like give to just anybody. Next question. I asked you a question about herpes a while ago, but you never answered. Listen, I am really scared and I have no one to talk to about this. Not even my doctors are listening. An entire month now, I have had these gigantically swollen lymph nodes in my groin area. They are hard and the size of eggs. I had 2 sores on my labia and they are now healed and gone, but my lymph nodes are still in full effect. It is so painful and I am weak. I throw up every day and I feel horrid. I've gone to urgent care and the message ended there. I don't know if there was a second part to it, but I don't really know what to tell you about your herpes outbreak. I've never had one like that, one that affected my lymph nodes or anything like that. If your doctor isn't really like listening to you or addressing your issues, maybe you should go to a different doctor. Urgent care doesn't give a fuck about your herpes. You need to go to like a regular doctor. And I don't mean like urgent care doesn't give a fuck about your herpes and like it's insignificant or whatever. It's just they don't give a fuck about anything. They're like, we have a long line of like people waiting to get in here. Like, there's nothing wrong with you, go away. Or like, this is herpes, like, we're being dismissive, whatever. But I don't know what it is. I don't have any answers for you. Last question. Do you ever feel overly anxious? And if so, what do you do to help get yourself through that? I had never experienced any sort of like real anxiety aside from having like panic attacks a few times when I went to the dentist. But other than that, I had never experienced any sort of anxiety in my life. And then when I was 25 and my then partner and I broke up, I was overwhelmed with anxiety and I started to tiptoe back into depression, and I just felt so overwhelmed by the anxiety that I started smoking pot. Because I was like, I'm at a point where I can't handle this stuff, and I'm considering taking like antidepressants and things like that. And I didn't want to do that either because I didn't want to permanently like chemically alter my brain or become dependent on these things or whatever. So I considered marijuana as a possibility, and I started smoking, and it's the first thing I had ever smoked in my life. Never even smoked a cigarette, and it felt awful. It tasted bad, but it made me feel better. I did not give a fuck about anything. I was able to like get out of bed and function and like be a real human, which was really, really cool. Like my anxiety went away. It totally like kicked my depression. And so that's what I do when I'm feeling like, when I'm having a lot of anxiety, I get stoned. Because I think it's a great alternative to like pumping myself full of all kinds of narcotics and stuff. I also talk to myself a lot. I try to chill myself out over like minor things. Like if I'm at work or something and I'm feeling kind of fucked up and like overwhelmed, I'm like, hey, chill. Everything is cool. Let's break this down. Feeling bad about this is not going to change the fact that it's happening. You are making this out to be something that it's not. You need to breathe. Breathing helps me so much. In my nose, on my mouth. You just do that, and I count them, and I focus on that, and that really helps me a lot. That's something I learned when I was giving birth. My body was like, hey, yo, you do this. This is going to make you feel better. And I was like, hey, yeah. Also works, like, anytime I'm in pain. And it will make my pain, like, less or, like, not at all, which is really cool. But, yeah, when I feel anxious, I talk to myself. And I, like, try to ground myself and chill myself out. Or I get stoned. Either way. That's all my questions. So I'm gonna shut this off. Ah, hey.